Ladies and gentlemen, listen carefully, because what I'm about to say could change the course of your life. Do you know what separates the strong from the weak, the successful from the mediocre, the rulers from the ruled? It is not talent. It is not luck. It is one thing: self-discipline. The greatest battles in life are not fought on battlefields. They are fought within you. Every morning, there is a war in your soul, a war between your higher self and your lower self, between your purpose and your distractions, between your destiny and your excuses. And hear me today, the side you choose will determine your future. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest emperors and philosophers of all time, ruled an empire, yet he understood the most important rule of all. If you cannot rule yourself, you are not fit to rule anything else. His entire philosophy was built on one thing: mastering the mind so that nothing else masters you. But here's the tragedy. Most people will live and die as slaves. Not slaves to chains, but slaves to their own lack of discipline. Slaves to procrastination. Slaves to their feelings. Slaves to comfort. And they wonder why they never rise. Tonight, I'm here to break those chains. I'm here to call out the greatness inside you. Because if you can master self-discipline, nothing, no failure, no rejection, no setback, can stop you. So if you're serious about changing your life, stay with me till the end. Because today, we are going to unlock the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius and apply it to your life. The greatest battle you will ever fight is not against another person, not against an external enemy, and not against the circumstances of life. It is the battle within your own mind. Marcus Aurelius, a man who ruled the greatest empire on earth, understood this deeply. He knew that the mind must always rule over impulse, for the undisciplined mind is a kingdom left defenseless, open to invasion from every fleeting emotion, every shallow desire, and every momentary pleasure that seeks to enslave it. If you do not govern your mind will be governed by whatever the world throws at it. Every day you wake up with choices. Your body craves comfort, your emotions demand instant gratification, and your impulses scream for ease. But your mind, the highest authority within you, was designed to take dominion over these lower desires. The difference between those who achieve greatness and those who live in regret is that the former have learned to master their impulses, while the latter have become their slaves. Marcus Aurelius taught that we should never be pulled like puppets by our feelings, but instead, we should train ourselves to think, decide, and act from a place of principle rather than passing emotions. Think about the power of impulse. It is the voice that whispers, "Sleep a little longer, you deserve it." It is the thought that tempts, "You can do it tomorrow." It is the feeling that says, "Why suffer? Just take the easy way out." But what has impulse ever given you except regret? How many times have you acted on impulse only to wish you had chosen differently? The food you shouldn't have eaten, the words you shouldn't have said, the time you wasted when you knew there was work to be done. Impulse is always the enemy of progress. Now here is the truth. Discipline is painful, but impulse is destructive. When you are ruled by impulse, you are ruled by external forces. You become a puppet of circumstances, reacting to whatever life throws at you instead of taking control. You see, impulse will always tell you to do what feels good now, but the mind, when trained, will tell you to do what is right for the future. And therein lies the secret. Your future is not shaped by how you feel in the moment. It is shaped by the decisions you make despite how you feel. Marcus Aurelius lived by the principle that a man is not his emotions, he is his decisions. He believed that true power is found in the ability to step back from an emotion, examine it, and choose whether to obey it or reject it. Most people never learn this. They think that because they feel something, they must act on it. But feeling is not a command. Just because fear arises does not mean you must retreat. Just because laziness appears does not mean you must surrender. Just because anger flares up does not mean you must respond. The highest form of strength is the ability to acknowledge an impulse and yet refuse to submit to it. Consider a great general leading an army. If he were to act on every impulse, charging when he felt excited, retreating when he felt afraid, hesitating when he felt uncertain, his army would be defeated before the battle even began. Instead, a wise general observes, analyzes, and makes strategic decisions. He does not react. He responds with intention. In the same way, your mind must be the general of your life, leading with wisdom rather than emotion. But how do you train the mind to rule over impulse? Through practice. Every time you deny an impulse, you strengthen your self-discipline. Every time you refuse to let emotions dictate your actions, you sharpen your mental resilience. This is not an easy path, but it is the path of kings. Marcus Aurelius did not become a great ruler by following his feelings. He became great by mastering them. And if you want to rise in life, if you want to break the cycle of mediocrity, if you want to step into your true potential, you must do the same. Your life is not shaped by what you do once in a while. It is not shaped by your intentions, your dreams, or even your potential. Your life is shaped by what you do consistently. Every day you are casting votes for the person you are becoming. Every action, no matter how small, is either moving you toward greatness or keeping you locked in mediocrity. Marcus Aurelius understood this, and he lived by the unshakable principle that disciplined daily habits, not luck, not inspiration, are what determine a person's destiny. Most people underestimate the power of small habits. They think greatness comes from one grand moment, one breakthrough, one lucky opportunity. But that is a lie. If you look at the most successful people in history, whether in leadership, philosophy, business, or personal mastery, you will see that their lives were built on disciplined daily practices. They did not wait for motivation. They did not wait for the perfect time. They mastered the art of showing up every day, whether they felt like it or not. Consider a sculptor working on a masterpiece. He does not strike the marble once and expect a statue to emerge. He chisels away piece by piece, day after day, until the shape begins to take form. Your life is no different. Every decision you make, every habit you practice is like a chisel shaping your future. The problem is most people quit too soon. They expect instant results, and when they don't see them, they give up. But Marcus Aurelius teaches us that discipline is not about seeing results immediately. It is about trusting the process. The results will come, but only to those who are patient and persistent. Think about the habits you practice every day. Are they leading you toward the life you desire? Or are they keeping you in the same cycle of frustration and stagnation? If you wake up late every morning, spend hours on distractions, avoid challenges, and neglect personal growth, you are not just wasting time. You are actively building a future of regret. But if you discipline yourself to rise early, feed your mind with wisdom, control your emotions, and take deliberate actions toward your goals, you are building a future of success. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations that we should treat each day as a life in itself. He understood that time is not something we can control, but how we use it is entirely in our hands. Many people live as if they have unlimited time, wasting days, months, even years, waiting for the right moment to take action. But here is the hard truth. Your future is being created right now, in this very moment, by the choices you are making today. There is no perfect time. There is only now. Discipline is not glamorous. It is not easy. It requires sacrifice. It requires doing things you do not want to do over and over again until they become second nature. But here's the secret. When you practice discipline long enough, what was once difficult becomes effortless. What once required force now becomes habit. And once something becomes a habit, it becomes your destiny. If you do not take control of your daily habits, your life will be controlled by distractions, by procrastination, by laziness, by everything that keeps you from reaching your potential. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire because he ruled himself first. He knew that his thoughts, his actions, and his daily disciplines were shaping the course of history. And so I ask you, what are your daily habits shaping? Because whether you realize it or not, you are building something with every choice you make. The question is, are you building a future of greatness, or are you building a future of regret? Pain is one of the greatest tests of discipline. It is the barrier between where you are and where you want to be. It is the force that separates those who rise from those who remain the same. Marcus Aurelius understood that no man achieves greatness without first enduring struggle. He knew that mastery, the ability to command oneself, to rise above circumstances, to lead and to excel, is not handed to anyone. It is earned through pain, through hardship, through a relentless commitment to discipline despite discomfort. The average person runs from pain. They avoid difficulty. They seek comfort, ease, and pleasure, believing that these things lead to happiness. But here is the paradox. The more you chase comfort, the weaker you become. The more you avoid pain, the more enslaved you are to it. Pain is not the enemy. It is the process. It is the refining fire that burns away weakness, distractions, and mediocrity. If you run from it, you remain the same. But if you endure it, if you embrace it, if you lean into the struggle, you emerge stronger, wiser, and unstoppable. Think about it. Every great achievement in history was born out of struggle. No great warrior became strong by avoiding battle. No great leader rose to power by taking the easy road. No great thinker developed wisdom without wrestling with deep challenges. Everything that is valuable in life, success, strength, wisdom, self-control, comes through hardship. It comes through discipline, and discipline by its nature is painful. Marcus Aurelius wrote that we should welcome difficulties as opportunities to train ourselves. He believed that every challenge, every setback, every painful moment was not an obstacle, but a chance to prove one's character. This is the mindset of greatness. While most people see pain as something to escape, the disciplined mind sees it as a stepping stone. This is why champions wake up before dawn to train. This is why great leaders push through exhaustion. This is why true masters of their craft spend years perfecting what others quit after days. They understand that pain is temporary, but the rewards of discipline last forever. The body will tell you to stop when you feel discomfort. The mind will create excuses when things get difficult. The emotions will demand relief when the pressure is high. But the disciplined person does not listen to these voices. They push forward, they endure. They remind themselves that pain is temporary, but mastery is eternal. Every moment of suffering, every act of self-denial, every time you refuse to give into weakness, you are building something greater than yourself. And what happens when you embrace this truth? You become untouchable. You become the kind of person who cannot be broken by setbacks, by failures, by obstacles. You become the kind of person who does not need motivation, because discipline has become your identity. You rise above fear, doubt, and struggle, knowing that everything you endure is shaping you into something unstoppable. This is what Marcus Aurelius lived by. This is why he remained calm in crisis, focused in adversity, and unshaken by the pressures of ruling an empire. He had trained himself to embrace pain, to see hardship as a tool, to use discipline as his weapon against weakness. And the truth is, you have that same ability within you. You are not meant to live a life of avoidance, of excuses, of surrender, to comfort. You are meant to rise, to conquer, to master yourself. But the price of that mastery is discipline. And the road to discipline is paved with pain. The only question is, will you embrace it, or will you let it stop you? The greatest war you will ever fight is not against other people. It is not against external enemies, not against your circumstances, not against the challenges life throws at you. The greatest war you will ever fight is the one within yourself. It is the battle between your higher self and your lower self, between discipline and indulgence, between purpose and distraction. Marcus Aurelius, a man who ruled an empire yet remained a servant of wisdom, understood that true power is not the ability to control others, but the ability to control oneself. Every single day you wake up to this battle. The moment your eyes open, the war begins. One side of you wants to stay comfortable, to take the easy road, to avoid the struggle. The other side of you knows that greatness requires sacrifice, that success requires discipline, that if you do not take command of yourself, the world will command you. The battle is relentless, and here's the truth: most people lose. Not because they lack intelligence, not because they lack potential, but because they surrender too easily. They surrender to their feelings. They wake up and don't feel like doing what must be done, so they put it off. They want to improve, but they let fear stop them. They want to change their lives, but they allow laziness to take control. Every excuse, every moment of procrastination, every surrender to distraction is a lost battle. And the more battles you lose, the more you become a slave to your lower nature. Marcus Aurelius knew that if a man cannot rule himself, he is not fit to rule anything else. He understood that discipline is not just about success, it is about freedom. The man who is ruled by his impulses is a prisoner. He may think he is free because he does what he feels like doing, but in reality, he is controlled by his urges. He is pulled in every direction by emotions, desires, and distractions. But the man who rules himself, the man who wakes up and does what must be done regardless of how he feels, he is the one who is truly free. The reason why so many people remain stuck in the same cycles of failure and regret is that they do not understand the war they are fighting. They think their problems are external. They blame their circumstances, their past, other people. But the real battle is within. The enemy is not outside, it is inside. It is the part of you that makes excuses. It is the voice in your head that tells you to take it easy. It is the part of you that chooses comfort over progress. And until you defeat that enemy, nothing in your life will change. So how do you win this war? You win by taking control of your mind. You win by training yourself to act based on principle, not feelings. You win by refusing to negotiate with your lower self. When the alarm rings in the morning and your body wants to stay in bed, you get up anyway. When fear tells you to hold back, you move forward anyway. When your emotions try to dictate your decisions, you override them with logic and purpose. This is how warriors are made. This is how leaders are built. This is how ordinary men and women become extraordinary, by conquering themselves before they attempt to conquer anything else. Marcus Aurelius lived by this truth. He faced hardship, pressure, and temptation every day, but he refused to be ruled by anything other than wisdom and discipline. He fought the war within himself every single day, and because he won that battle, he became one of the greatest leaders in history. And now the question is, will you win your battle? Because make no mistake, the war is already happening inside you. Every moment, every decision, every habit is either bringing you closer to victory or pulling you toward defeat. The outcome is in your hands. The only thing left to decide is whether you will rise and fight or surrender to the enemy within. The world is full of people who chase comfort. They want the easy road, the path of least resistance, the life where everything comes without struggle. But comfort is deceptive. It lulls you into complacency, it keeps you weak, and worst of all, it robs you of your true potential. Marcus Aurelius understood a truth that few ever grasp. Greatness is not built on comfort, but on character. And character is forged in discipline, in hardship, in doing what must be done whether you feel like it or not. Look around you. Most people live by their feelings. If they feel motivated, they work hard. If they feel tired, they rest. If they feel afraid, they hesitate. Their lives are dictated by emotions, and because emotions are fleeting, their progress is inconsistent. They start things but don't finish. They dream but never act. They wish but never sacrifice. And at the end of their lives, they wonder why they never became who they were meant to be. But character is different. Character does not rely on feelings. Character does what is right even when it is hard. Character shows up every day, rain or shine, tired or energized, confident or uncertain. Character is what separates the strong from the weak, the successful from the mediocre, the leaders from the followers. And here's the truth. If you want to rise, if you want to build a legacy, if you want to become the person you are destined to be, you must choose character over comfort. Marcus Aurelius did not rule the Roman Empire by choosing what was easy. He did not wake up and ask himself, "Do I feel like leading today?" No, he did what needed to be done. He disciplined his mind, trained his emotions, and acted according to principle rather than preference. He understood that real strength is not found in avoiding hardship but in facing it head-on. The problem with comfort is that it weakens you. Every time you avoid a challenge, you become softer. Every time you choose ease over effort, you lose a piece of your own potential. And before you know it, you have become a person ruled by laziness, fear, and procrastination. You have become someone who makes excuses instead of making progress. You have lost the discipline, the hunger, and the drive that lead to greatness. But character is built in discomfort. It is built when you push through fatigue, when you stay focused despite distractions, when you keep going even when you feel like quitting. It is built when you do the right thing, not the easy thing. It is built when you choose discipline over pleasure, long-term gain over short-term gratification, strength over weakness. And the more you do this, the more you transform, not just in what you achieve, but in who you become. Most people think success is about talent, luck, or intelligence. But Marcus Aurelius knew better. He knew that the foundation of all greatness is character. A man without discipline is a man without strength. A leader without self-control is a leader doomed to fail. A person who lives for comfort will never leave a lasting impact. But a person of character? That person cannot be broken. That person will rise no matter the obstacles. That person will leave a mark on history. So ask yourself, are you choosing comfort or are you choosing character? Because every decision you make, every habit you practice, every sacrifice you embrace is shaping you into something. The question is, are you becoming stronger or are you becoming weaker? Marcus Aurelius chose discipline, duty, and principle over everything else. And that is why his name still echoes through history. The real question is, what will your name stand for? Will you be remembered for your excuses or for your strength? Will you live for comfort? Or will you build the kind of character that nothing in this world can break? The hardest person you will ever have to lead is yourself. The most difficult opponent you will ever have to defeat is the one in the mirror. The greatest victory you will ever achieve is the mastery of your own mind, your own habits, and your own emotions. Marcus Aurelius understood that the key to power, success, and true freedom is not found in conquering nations or commanding armies. It is found in mastering oneself. Because the man who has mastered himself cannot be shaken, cannot be controlled, and cannot be defeated. Look at the world around you. People are controlled by their impulses. They react instead of respond. They allow their emotions to dictate their decisions. They are slaves to distractions, to cravings, to bad habits. They say they want success, but they cannot even control how they spend their mornings. They say they want discipline, but they surrender to comfort at the first sign of resistance. They say they want to be great, but they refuse to do the daily work required for greatness. This is not mastery. This is bondage. Marcus Aurelius lived by a higher standard. He trained himself to act according to wisdom, not impulse. He understood that true power is not found in external control but in internal discipline. No one can control whether life is difficult. No one can stop hardships from coming. No one can escape pain, struggle, or setbacks. But what separates the strong from the weak is how they respond. Most people react with frustration, anger, or fear. But the disciplined mind, the mind that has been trained, remains unmoved. It chooses action over emotion, focus over distraction, responsibility over excuses. Mastery is not about suppressing your emotions. It is about controlling them. It is about training your mind to respond with wisdom rather than impulse. It is about becoming so disciplined that nothing can pull you off course. And here's the truth. Until you master yourself, you will always be ruled by something else. If you do not master your emotions, they will master you. If you do not control your habits, they will control you. If you do not discipline your thoughts, they will lead you to failure. But here's the secret. Self-mastery is a skill. It is something you can develop. It is built through discipline, through training, through daily decisions. Every time you resist an impulse, you grow stronger. Every time you do what is necessary, instead of what is easy, you become more powerful. Every time you deny a weakness and act with intention, you step closer to mastery. And when you reach that level, when you have full control over yourself, Nothing in this world can stop you. Marcus Aurelius did not live for pleasure, for praise, or for comfort. He lived by principle. He ruled himself before he ruled an empire, and because of that he remained unshaken, unstoppable, and unmatched. The question is, are you willing to do the same? Because the greatest battle you will ever fight is the one within, and the greatest victory you will ever achieve is the mastery of yourself. Everything you seek, success, strength, greatness, fulfillment, is on the other side of discipline. It is not talent, luck, or intelligence that separates the extraordinary from the average. It is the ability to master oneself. Marcus Aurelius understood this, and he lived by it. He knew that true power is not found in controlling others, but in controlling yourself. Your habits shape your destiny. Pain is the price of mastery. The greatest battle you will ever fight is within. Character must be chosen over comfort. And above all, self-discipline is the foundation of all greatness. Every choice you make, every sacrifice you embrace, every impulse you resist is molding you into something. The question is, are you becoming stronger or are you becoming weaker? Most people will go through life ruled by distractions, emotions, and excuses. They will surrender to comfort and live far beneath their potential. But you don't have to. You can rise. You can master yourself. You can become the kind of person who is unshaken, unstoppable, and unbreakable. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire, but more importantly, he ruled himself. And if you are willing to embrace discipline, if you are willing to fight the battle within and win, then no obstacle, no challenge, no hardship will ever be able to break you. The choice is yours. Stay the same, or rise to your potential. Live by impulse or master yourself. Follow the crowd or build a legacy. Whatever you decide, remember this. Your life will be defined not by what you say you want, but by what you are disciplined enough to do.